Fantasy games on mobile are something that many people desire to play, and today I wanted to dive into the App Store and see what games were being recommended to me that I should play within the genre. What I'm going to do today is take a look at 15 titles that Google's recommending that I play and let you know if they're worth your time or not. Starting out today's list, we have Shadow of Death, which is an offline game with 10 million downloads and 4.8 stars. It's an action fighting single-player experience that's in the platformer genre. Specifically, this one being an offline game really does lend itself to have some options that you may not have on others, like if you don't want to buy Wi-Fi on the plane, or if you just live in a place that doesn't have very good connection. This one's a really fun game, super casual, but also a good time as well, that does have both PvE and PvP. This one is one that I would recommend you play. I give it the green light. It's worth it. With 50 million downloads, we have Dragon Ball Legends that sits with 4.4 stars. It's an action strategy role-playing fantasy title that is both single and multiplayer. This is a game that you can't ignore if, of course, you're a fan of the whole Dragon Ball universe. If you're not, this would probably be one that I would pass on, which is actually surprising being that it has so many downloads and is one of the more popular games on mobile. So at the end of the day, if it were me, I wouldn't play this one. I have other titles that I would prefer in the genre, but if you're looking for a fantasy game and you do love anime or specifically Dragon Ball, this would be a green light for you. And next we have Grim Valor that has 5 million downloads and 4.7 stars, which is a single player, another offline title here, from the platformer hack and slash genre. I think the graphics in this one are actually quite nice, the good fantasy element that it definitely has, and it is another offline platformer style hack and slash game. So if you're looking for an action RPG with a little less depth, then this could be an option for you for sure. Sometimes when you don't want to dive into the depth of skill trees and just finding your way through an open world, a platformer is a better way to go. And if you're the person that likes that, this is a green light for you gamers. Blackmore 2 action platformer with 5 million downloads and 4.4 stars. A little bit more of a goofy action RPG style game that is a single player experience and of course from a really goofy, funny fantasy realm. If you're trying to look like a really silly version of Gladiator, this could be a title that works for you. It definitely is a fun one if you're looking for a casual action fighter that's in a platform style. I'll give this one the green light. I think it's cool. Ronin: The Last Samurai with 10 million downloads and 4.6 stars. This is a single-player roguelike fantasy title that definitely has atmospheric elements. The artwork inside of this one takes you inside of a storybook notepad as you get into your ninja samurai-like battles. Because this one does have a different offering than many other titles on today's list, I can't do anything but give this one the green light. It's an experience unlike any others and one that's probably worth your time if you're into storybook type battles. Next up, we have Dead Effect 2 with 10 million downloads and 4.2 stars. This is a single player shooter game, but one where you're in a futuristic, alien style, zombie infested world, which to me does not scream fantasy. This is more of a zombie horror style game. Now, there's two ways that I could grade this. If I'm grading this amongst other fantasy titles, for people that are looking for a fantasy game, I would say this is not your title. This is not a fantasy game, and I'm not sure why it's being put on this recommendation from Google. So it would be a red light for fantasy, but if you're looking for a good mobile game that's an action title, and maybe even a zombie slash shooter title, this is one that's actually extremely good. So as a mobile gaming experience overall, this would be a green light, but if you're looking for fantasy exclusively, this would be a red light. The title that's been on PC for generations is now available on mobile and has been for quite some time. I'm talking about Titan Quest, an action RPG that spans realms of time with 100,000 downloads, 3.5 stars, and a price tag of $10. You're looking at an old style action RPG game. Definitely from the fantasy realm and definitely dated style gameplay, but some that people really do enjoy. As you could tell from the gameplay graphics, it definitely looks like something coming out of the 90s, but although the game most likely, I believe, is from the 90s, is really done well on mobile and plays well and is actually a really great game from the genre. If you're an enthusiast of action RPGs, this could be one that you want to check out, but if not, maybe you'd want to ignore it. In my opinion, this game, though, even with the price tag, is a green light. Knights and Dragons action RPG has 10 million downloads and 4.5 stars. And we're looking at a multiplayer, cooperative, and competitive style action RPG from the fantasy realm. And as you could tell from this one, definitely a brighter, more colorful experience than many games that we've seen on the list here today. This one, though, definitely does have a different feel. The RPG is different than any from the list here today. And to be very honest with you, in my opinion, it does not look like something that I would particularly enjoy my time inside of. For this one, I gotta give it a red light. I would not recommend playing. Power Rangers Legacy Wars with 50 million downloads and 3.8 stars. You're playing as a Power Ranger, which right off the bat tells me I'm giving this one a red light. Just a little bit cheesy, and this multiplayer competitive fighting style game really doesn't even fit the fantasy genre either. It's more of a fighter, and I wouldn't want to play it because it's Power Rangers alone. Now another fighter, Injustice 2 with 10 million downloads and 4.2 stars. Again, we're in the fighter genre, but this one does lend itself a little bit better towards fantasy, but still a little bit far off. But this game doesn't suck. This is a really good fighter at that. One of the better ones, in my opinion, on the platform, with some really great characters that you do know from many different realms, all with a fantasy flair to them. And because of this, this is a title that I would recommend you play. I'm giving this one the green light, even though it's teetering the line of fantasy. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle has 50 million downloads and 4.6 stars, and this is a puzzle role-playing game. Again, fantasy because it's the Dragon Ball Z universe, but essentially what they're doing here is taking fans of Dragon Ball, throwing them into a Candy Crush style battler that, yeah, it looks cool if you're into puzzle style games, but it really is nothing that special. I'd rather play Candy Crush. This one, although quite popular in the community with great stars, I would give it a red light. Arena of Valor is a MOBA that I played quite a bit of in the past. It has 10 million downloads and 4 stars even. And as I mentioned, it's a multiplayer MOBA style game like many others, such as League of Legends, etc. This one, fantasy themed, sure, we could go ahead and say that, but the question is it a good game? Is it a good looking game? Yes. Is it fun? Yes. Does it represent the genre of MOBA well? Yes, it does. Is it the most popular one on the mobile device? No. But I guess the real question is, does it need to be the most popular to be one worth playing? And the answer to that is no. I do think this title is incredible. It plays very well and is extremely fun. So I'm giving it a green light. Bleach Brave Souls anime games has 10 million downloads and 4 stars. It's an action RPG multiplayer, both single player and multiplayer actually. And as I mentioned, well, as you could tell, it's from the anime scene and done quite a bit differently. This one's a little bit cheesy, but also at the same time, a little bit fun and addicting to play. Because this one is fantasy themed and quite fun on its own, I would have to give it a green light, at least for you to try out. Royal Revolt 2 Tower Defense. You already know me, guys. I'm giving this a green light with 10 million downloads and 4.5 stars. Any tower defense is worth your time giving it a shot to see if you like it. This one's fun. Green light. Fight Legends Mortal Fighting has 1 million downloads, 4.6 stars, and it is a gladiator-esque like fighting game, single player experience that is decent at best. I'd say if you're an enthusiast of fighters, sure, you can give it a try. If you're not, I would pass this one up. It's a green light if you like fighting games. Otherwise, you could just say you'll pass on this one. Mutants Genetic Gladiators has 10 million downloads and 4.4 stars. And I want to remind you guys, if you like top 10 lists, be sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm always introducing you to new titles that you can be playing on mobile or free to play on PC and Steam. I hope to see you guys back here in tomorrow's video as well, so hit that sub button. But regarding Mutants Genetic Gladiators, it has 10 million downloads, 4.4 stars, and is a turn-based RPG that is mediocre at best. I would go and give this one a red light. I would pass it up, and I'd go play Raid Shadow Legends instead.